What's the matter this time?
Nothing, Batman. It's none of your concern.
Did you wet the bed?
No.
Did you watch Requiem for a Dream again?
No?
Have you fallen into a deep depression because you feel as though your creative work isn't as good as you think it is and your life's going nowhere?
What are you trying to say?
Is it because you're not wearing hockey pants?
No, Batman. If you really must know, tonight... Tonight I'm going to see the new Ghostbusters movie.
Oh, God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Alright, let's do this. Ghostbusters 2016 was directed by Paul Feig and it stars Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, Leslie Jones, and Kate McKinnon. In case you didn't know, there's a little bit of controversy surrounding this movie. Like, surrounding whether or not you like it, based on different reasons. So, to avoid any kind of backlash, to avoid being called out as like a man-child who's stuck on the past and won't let the old Ghostbusters go, I'm gonna do this entire video as if the original Ghostbusters just didn't happen. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna review this Ghostbusters movie, the 2016 Ghostbusters, as just a new movie. This is a movie that I saw a trailer for, went to the theaters to go see, and here I am reviewing it as a movie and not as a Ghostbusters movie. Sound fair? Sound good? Is that good enough for you, internet? Alright. Let's do this. After a major ghost sighting, 3 scientists passionate about the paranormal get together to figure out a way to capture it. With the help of a subway toll taker who knows the city and a dim-witted secretary, they form the Ghostbusters to save the town from ghost attacks being set off by the mysterious villain. I think it's pretty safe to say that Kristen Wiig is written to be like the lead of the group, like she's written to be the main protagonist of the Ghostbusters. And I love Kristen Wiig. I love her. She's one of my favorite comedic actresses. I loved watching her on SNL. She was always my favorite part of SNL. But in this, she didn't have her charm. Every single character that she does, she has a certain little Kristen Wiig charm to it. This one just, it didn't have that. It felt like a very flat character. This could very well be by the fault of the writers. There was just nothing really to latch onto her as a character. There was nothing to attach the audience to her. She was supposed to be like the nerdy straight man of the group, the one that was like a little skeptical, but she didn't work. There's one scene where they try to make her a little bit more than a character, where they try to give her some character depth. But it feels really ham-fisted, feels extremely forced. Melissa McCarthy plays her longtime friend. She's the one who's really behind the idea of ghost busting. She's the one that's trying to get this group together to go capture ghosts because that's what they're all passionate about. Now, I will say I've never been a huge fan of Melissa McCarthy. I think she tends to be a little over-exaggerated, but in this she's kind of toned down. She's a little toned down in this. Just, her character in this feels like she's trying way too hard to deliver the joke. Just extremely too hard. And she will keep telling the joke that she finds funny until she runs it dead into the ground. Like just deep, deep into the depths of the ground. Until she is at the center of the Earth's core and the joke is nothing but ash. Kate McKinnon plays the wacky scientist friend of the group. She makes all of the cool gadgets of the group while also being really, 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 really kooky. She's another SNL actress that I love. Everything she does on SNL is hilarious, and in this movie, she's a good character. Just not a good character for this movie. She's almost like a cartoon character. She's very wacky, she's very off the wall, but there's nothing in this movie to kind of make up for that. Like, in this movie, she feels almost too ridiculous, and this is a very ridiculous movie. Maybe it would have helped if any one of the other characters reacted to her being this wacky character, if anyone like pointed it out or like bounced humor off of her. But no one did, and that's the thing that really sucks about this movie, is the fact that none of these characters really work off of each other. It's an ensemble movie, and with ensemble comedy casts, what makes them funny is them playing off of each other. That's how jokes land. I feel like if you took out any one of the Ghostbusters characters Like, just, like, pulled them right out of the plot. All of the other Ghostbusters would react the same exact way. Like, the movie wouldn't be different without that character in it. Which is most likely due to the writing, and I will get to that. Believe you me, oh, I will get to that writing. Leslie Jones plays the subway attendant turned Buster. I gotta say, I was least looking forward to her character in this movie, because the way the trailers made it out to be, I thought she was going to be this very loud, crass stereotype. Oddly enough, she was my favorite Ghostbuster in this movie. She was the only character in this movie that felt like a real person. She reacted to things like a real person would. And that actually got some laughs out of me. I wish she would have had some chemistry with the others. I wish they all could have gotten together and had this, like, awesome chemistry. I wish they... I wish they could have played off of each other. I wish they could have, like, bonded. I wish they could have bantered. I wish that something could have happened with these characters that would have shown them being characters. And this mostly isn't the actress's fault. This film was co-written and directed by Paul Feig, who's known for Bridesmaids. He has this sketch comedy way of directing things, which really works for something like Bridesmaids. It really didn't work with a movie of this scale. He has this, like, 1, 2, 3 reaction way of directing things. And what I mean by that is, it's this thing that a lot of, like, comedy directors tend to do. Like, Anchorman 2 was full of directing like this. And what they'll do is they'll film a whole bunch of jokes and one reaction from a different character. And then as they're editing, they'll pick out which joke they like the best, and then just slap that reaction on top of it. Boom, done. It's a very lazy and very cheap way of doing things. And it just feels very choppy. Let me show you an example. I'm gonna show you the 3 different jokes. Fart joke, poop joke, butt joke. That's gross. And when they're pieced together, it looks something like this. Poop joke. That's gross. Filming like that really doesn't help the actors. In an ensemble movie, you should just let the camera go. Let the characters bounce stuff off of each other. Let them work together to form a funny movie. When you do something like this, it feels very factory made. It just feels like you're industrializing jokes. It doesn't feel right. It also doesn't help that it's an extremely poorly written script. There's so many plot holes and so many inconsistencies with the explanation of things. Like, with a sci-fi movie, if you're not gonna be consistent with the way something works, don't explain how it works. Because when you tell us that it works this certain way, and then you see that device doing something entirely different than what you told us it does, it looks stupid. It makes us think, well, you told us it only did that. What do you... Screw you! And the villain. The villain for a movie like this should be, like, good. Or at least funny or something. But he was just a weak, underdeveloped character, just spouting exposition every time the camera cut to him. Really, all of the male characters in this movie are weak and underdeveloped. But I won't get into that, because... nope, I'm not gonna get into that. Not gonna get into the fact that every single male character in this movie is written to be dumb, stupid, and mean. Really, the biggest crime of this movie is just the fact that it's not funny. There's a million jokes a minute, and I'm not even exaggerating. Eventually, jokes just turn into noise. They're just talking just to be talking. And I feel like the director was just like, they need to be saying something, always. There can't be 2 seconds without someone saying something. And to back up that theory, during the final showdown, the girls are like fighting all the ghosts and whatnot, and we cut to Kristen Wiig's character, and I shit you not, her mouth does not move. But she goes, "Say hello to my little friend!" I will say that I did laugh a few times. This movie did get me to chuckle a few times. But with as many jokes that are cram-packed into this, that's not really praise. I mean, you put a million jokes in one movie, like 3 of them are bound to be funny. The funniest character of the movie for me was Chris Hemsworth's character as the secretary. I mean, I should have felt offended by how stupid they portrayed, like, a male in a secretary position, just like this big hunk of meat who's very stupid. And I understand what they're doing. Don't get on me. I know they're gender switching, but come on. Just some of the things he said were just so stupid. He's a very stupid character in a very stupid movie, but some of the things he said they were too stupid not to laugh at. Also the mayor. Andy Garcia is the mayor of the town. Yeah, he had 1 or 2 lines that got me to chuckle too. And since this movie is such a special effects heavy movie, I feel like I have to talk about them just a little bit. 1 or 2 scenes were done fairly well with special effects, But other than that, it mostly looked like a movie that was made in like the early 2000s. Like the special effects in this movie were kind of really bad. And not even like bad, like so bad that it's funny, like that was the look they were going for, but they obviously tried and it just looked bad. The entire final climactic battle, obviously all of the girls were in front of a green screen, and if they weren't, it was just it's filmed really weird. Honest to God, some of the things in this movie reminded me of the special effects in Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. That is, I know that's very obscure. It's a very obscure thing for me to, you know, coincide this with, but that's what it reminded me of, so maybe that'll get you in the mindset of how bad this was. Overall, this movie was just a 2-hour-long headache. Like, it was just... And the reason why it was so long was because they just won't let a joke die. They just will not stop telling that joke. They think it's funny, and they'll keep running it into the ground. They'll just keep running it deeper and deeper into the ground. Oh, man. They don't shut the hell up in this movie, and it was so loud. It was a loud movie. This is a 2-hour-long headache. Like, this movie was louder than Batman v Superman, and that's saying a whole lot. Yeah, this movie made me laugh a few times, but that does not excuse poor filmmaking. In an ensemble movie, there should be chemistry. That's how an ensemble movie works. They should work together to make a good joke, but they didn't. It was just so choppily done and just so poorly written, and just... no one cared. It felt like no one cared. It felt like everyone knew that this movie was going to make money. Everyone knew that this movie would be used for advertising. There's so much product placement. That's a whole different video in itself. I am going to give Ghostbusters a 5 out of 10.
Okay, so I don't know if it was a race thing or a lady thing, but I'm mad as hell.
Remember, this whole thing was me talking about the movie as if the original didn't exist. Because that's a whole nother video. Look out for that pretty soon. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't watch Ghostbusters. I mean, if you feel like you have to, if you feel like you just want to see for yourself, try it out. Go on a matinee. Don't pay good money to see this. But thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't done that, do it. And remember, as always, watch movies, my friend.